This edition of the broadcast, Times Now is getting you exclusive news break. We have access to a copy of the Centre's Gazette notification for the 23rd Law Commission. The notification, which was issued last night by the Ministry of Law and Justice, entails that the accordings of the sanction for its constitution by the president and, among other things, tasks the panel with an examination and review of the existing law. Let's go across to Harish, our legal editor, who's joining us with all the details. Harish, how is this a big hint towards UCC? Break down the details for us.
Yes, good morning, Sagarika. In fact, it can be seen, though in fact the terms of reference to the 23rd Law Commission does not speak about a feasibility study for the Uniform Civil Code, just as the 22nd Law Commission, which demitted office on August 31, was in the process of, but very strong hints in a way, because it the clause D of the terms of reference asks the Commission to examine, review, and also improve and reform the present set of laws in conformity with the so that it is in conformity with the directive principles of state policy, that is under Article 44. And what does Article 44 of directive principles say? It says that there shall be a uniform civil code for the entire country. The state shall endeavor to draft a UCC for the entire all the citizens of India, which means that uniform set of marriage, right to property, inheritance and succession law, which are now governed by personal laws of each religion. So it's a big development, and also we can very well see that the centre has not lost time in reconstituting the new law commission, because the term of the earlier 22nd Law Commission ended on August 31st, and this also comes 17 days after the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, emphasized on the need for a secular civil code, saying that the present civil code is communal, and that is why this assumes significance. Remember, the earlier commission could not submit a report for two reasons. Its term ended on August 31, and also it was headless because its chairperson had joined the judicial member of the Lokpal. So in that point of view, this development is very important. It gives a hint that the centre wishes a continuity as far as the UCC feasibility study is concerned.
Absolutely. Harish, do stay with us, because I remember you were the one who got us the story of how the Law Commission had become headless because of, the kind of happenings that happened within the Law Commission. And you had also told us that the 22nd Law Commission was the Law Commission that had done an extensive consultation when it comes to UCC. There were about 80 lakh plus responses that had come in. Do stay with us, because let's also go across to our colleague Ankit, who's joining us from the newsroom, and Ankit has a copy of the Gazette that was accessed by Harish. Ankit, take us through the details.
This is the Gazette notification accessed by Harish, and I'm going to just read the few key points that we are really highlighting here. One is the chairperson and members of the Law Commission who are serving judges of the Supreme Court / High Court shall perform their function. So this enables the fact that serving judges of the Supreme Court and High Court may be a part of it. Then an important mention here is it talks about the terms of reference. Here it says the terms of reference of the 23rd Law Commission shall be as under, and it lists the whole section for the review and repeal of obsolete laws. It has about 7 points with regards to that. Then it also says examine the laws which affect the poor and carry out post-enactment audit for socio-economic legislations. That comes under law and poverty. And then here is under clause D is the significant mention, that is examine the existing laws in light of directive principles of state policy, and to suggest ways of improvement and reform, and also suggest such legislations as might be necessary to implement the directive principles and to attain the objectives set out in the preamble of the Constitution. And like Harish mentioned, in the directive principles of state policy is the enactment of a UCC for India. This is the Gazette notification he has accessed.
All right, so let's once again take this back to Harish, because he's breaking down the details and explaining the significance of what the centre has now done with this Gazette. The centre is also asking the Law Commission to suggest improvements and legislations that might be necessary to implement the directive principles, as just mentioned by Ankit, and he's read out a portion of the Gazette. Let's go back to Harish. Harish, there is also a thrust by the government to ensure the functioning of the Law Commission is smooth and better. Take us through more details of what the centre, right now is planning to do with the constitution of the 23rd Law Commission.
Yes, another important aspect in the Gazette notification, Sagarika, is that till now all the notification had said that there shall be a retired Supreme Court judge or a High Court judge can become a chairperson or members. But this notification says the centre proposes that a sitting Supreme Court judge or High Court judge may become the chairperson. In case it's not available, even a retired Supreme Court judge or High Court judge can be made chairperson or members. That option is definitely there, but for the first time it shows that how the importance the government is showing to the functioning of the Law Commission. And another aspect, Sagarika, is that why the government has rushed in and immediately constituted a 23rd commission just after the term of the 22nd commission ended is because to keep the momentum going. The 22nd commission was in fact doing a good job as far as the UCC is concerned. It held widespread consultation with political parties, religious and social organizations, experts, academicians, and got 80 lakh views. The commission was in the process of analyzing those responses and had even hired an agency for that purposes, and it was all set to hold debates and consultations and seminars across the country. It was at that juncture that it became headless. Justice Rituraj Avasthi was heading the Law Commission, was made a member judicial of the Lokpal, and once it is headless, that even the consultations, internal discussions that particular commission had held, it cannot be compiled and even submitted as an interim report, because as per rules, a headless commission cannot submit any report to the Law Commission, to the Law Ministry. So we have to wait and watch whether the centre puts in black and white now very soon name the the name of the chairperson and members. As of now, Sagarika, you can note that the chairperson and members have not been named yet. Only the constitution, the component of the 23rd commission has been specified. Now we'll have to wait for two aspects: the name of the chairperson and the members. Number two, whether the Law Ministry will once again put in black and white that we are just like the 22nd Law Commission. Let the 23rd Law Commission also continue its feasibility study as far as implementation of Uniform Civil Code is concerned. Remember, even the 21st Law Commission, headed by Justice B.S. Chauhan, had conducted a study, and at that point of time said that at this juncture it is not desirable or necessary for a Uniform Civil Code, and he had only suggested religious-wise amendment in personal laws to end discrimination of women. So this process has been going on for almost 8 years now. Now it has reached a very crucial stage, because after internal discussions, the 22nd Commission apparently has formed some kind of opinion, but it is not in a position to submit a report because it was headless.
So, Harish, the 22nd Law Commission, like you mentioned and like everyone knows, has done extensive work, especially when it comes to UCC and bringing in suggestions on it, taking opinions of stakeholders, holding these talks, preparing a draft report. So now, like you mentioned, that the 23rd Law Commission, the government has moved ahead with it. Yes, we are awaiting the names of the chairpersons and the other members. So is it going to be a carryover work for the 23rd Law Commission, and hence the time possibly would be lesser than, and maybe they will go ahead very fast and we'll see some finality in the larger debate around UCC?
No, the tenure has been specified in the Gazette notification. That is for 3 years till August 2027. But going by the clause D, which says that the Law Commission shall examine and review the present laws so that to ensure that it is in conformity with the direct principle of state policy. It's a clear hint that the center wants a continuity as far as the work which being done by the Law Commission regarding the Uniform Civil Code feasibility study is concerned. That is a strong hint, and I repeat that the government has not put in black and white. It has not clearly said that, okay, we are once again referring the issue to the 23rd Law Commission, but it has dropped enough hints in the clause D saying that directive principle of state policy shall be upheld, and the present laws should be in conformity with the directive principles, and an examination and review should be conducted by the 23rd Law Commission. That is a clear hint, because Sagarika, as I said earlier, Article 44, the directive principles clearly envisages and says there is an obligation. It casts an obligation on the state to draft a uniform civil code for all the citizens of the country.
And the push came in even when the Prime Minister spoke from the ramparts of the Red Fort. What did the Prime Minister say back then that sparked off another big debate when it comes to the UCC? Listen in.
प्यारे देशवासियों, हमारे देश में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बार बार यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड को लेकर जो चर्चा की है, अनेक बार आदेश दिए हैं, क्योंकि देश का एक बहुत बड़ा वर्ग मानता है और उसमें सच्चाई भी है कि जिस सिविल कोड को हम लेकर के जी रहे हैं, वो सिविल कोड सचमुच में तो एक प्रकार का कम्युनल सिविल कोड है, भेदभाव करने वाला सिविल कोड है। ऐसे सिविल कोड से जब संविधान के 75 वर्ष मना रहे हैं और संविधान की भावना भी जो हमें कहती है करने के लिए, देश की सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी हमें कहती है करने के लिए, और तब जो संविधान निर्माताओं का सपना था, उस सपने को पूरा करना हम सबका दायित्व है। और मैं मानता हूं इस गंभीर विषय पर देश में चर्चा हो, व्यापक चर्चा हो, हर कोई अपने विचारों को लेकर के आए और उन कानूनों को, जो कानून धर्म के आधार पर देश को बांटते, जो ऊंच नीच का कारण बन जाते हैं, ऐसे कानूनों को आधुनिक समाज में कोई स्थान नहीं हो सकता है। और इसलिए मैं तो कहूंगा, अब समय की मांग है कि देश में एक सेकुलर सिविल कोड हो। हमने कम्युनल सिविल कोड में 75 साल बिताए हैं, अब हमें सेक्युलर सिविल कोड की तरफ जाना होगा, और तब जाकर के देश में धर्म के आधार पर जो भेदभाव हो रहे हैं, सामान्य नागरिक को जो दूरी महसूस होती है, उससे हमें मुक्ति मिलेगी।
Now let's tell our viewers once again why we are talking about this story, because Times Now has accessed a copy of the centre's Gazette notification for the 23rd Law Commission, and the notification, which was issued last night by the Ministry of Law and Justice, entails the according of sanction for its constitution by the President, and among other things also tasks the panel with an examination and review of the existing laws. Big hint coming in when it comes to the centre's intent when it comes to the UCC. Thank you, Harish, for breaking down those details and telling our viewers about the implications of the centre's Gazette notification. Time now for us to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with other big stories. Stay with us.